This is Gate World, that's a fish man, and this is Stargate SG-1 Season 1 in about 10 minutes. Yes, there are plenty of spoilers ahead. We're not going to talk about every single episode, but we will cover all the major story points you need to know. Let's recap. 1 year after Air Force Colonel Jack O'Neill and archaeologist Daniel Jackson defeated the alien Ra and saved the people of Abydos, the Stargate is in mothballs, barely noticed by the airmen inside Cheyenne Mountain, Colorado. But when the goa'uld system lord Apophis gates in, kills a bunch of people, and kidnaps a sergeant, the program is reactivated. Jack O'Neill is called out of retirement to lead a team back to Abydos, where Daniel Jackson has been teaching everyone English and enjoying wedded bliss. At least, until Apophis visits Abydos too, killing a bunch of people and kidnapping Daniel's wife Sha're and her brother Skaara, the kid from the movie. Now Daniel is on a mission, joining Jack and his new sidekick, the genius scientist Samantha Carter, to track Apophis to the planet Chulak, rescue a bunch of prisoners before Apophis kills them too, meet a new Jaffa friend in Teal'c.
I have nowhere to go.
For this, you can stay at my place. Let's go!
And witness the crushing fact that Sha're and Skaara have both been made hosts to goa'uld symbiotes. Fortunately, General Hammond and the President are going to let them team up to visit new planets through the Stargate every week, meet new people, look for advanced technology to defend Earth, and hopefully one day rescue their loved ones. Oh, and Kowalski was also goa'ulded when no one was looking, and dies when the parasite takes control and Teal'c holds his head inside the event horizon. As SG-1 takes its first steps into a larger galaxy, they find numerous worlds inhabited by humans. The goa'uld transplanted most of them from Earth as slaves thousands of years ago. And they all speak English because reasons. Some are still living under the goa'uld's oppressive rule, but others haven't seen those evil snakeheads for generations. The Land of Light looks like it's stuck in the Bronze Age, but the Tolan are more advanced than Earth, and they look at us like we're stuck in the Bronze Age. This wide range of evolution is exemplified by the Nox, who on the surface appear to be simple forest dwellers with no technology to speak of, although they do have a deep spirituality and an incredible power to heal. Turns out, the Nox aren't just more advanced than us, they're way more advanced than us, with an invisible city that floats in the sky. They're also strict pacifists and plan to bury their Stargate after the team leaves.
The very young do not always do what they are told.
Sam's ex-fiancé has gone mad and set himself up as a god on another planet. Jack is infected by nanites that rapidly age him, and Daniel becomes a caveman. Oh, and this happens.
Carter, what's gotten into you?
Not everyone worships the goa'uld as their gods. The Sumerians have a Norse mythology and worship the Asgard, including the great and mighty warrior Thor. The Asgard hammer technology transports Teal'c and Jack into an underground cavern meant to free hosts from their symbiotes. But that's going to kill Teal'c, who carries a larval goa'uld symbiote in his stomach. The rest of the team finds the cavern exit, rescuing their friends, and setting up a big new ally for Season 2. Daniel gets his hands on a bunch of material from experiments done with the Stargate all the way back in 1945, thanks to Catherine Langford's dad, the guy who found the gate buried in Egypt in 1928. Turns out they tried manually dialing the gate and accidentally stumbled upon a valid address, sending Catherine's fiancé Ernest through. Now, SG-1 can go and look for him, taking along the elderly Catherine to find Ernest living naked and alone in a crumbling palace for the last 50 years. The Torment of Tantalus is a key episode for the middle of Season 1, mainly because of what the team discovers in Ernest's castle. He calls it Heliopolis, after an ancient Egyptian capital, and it was once a meeting place of 4 advanced races, a united nations of the stars. One of them was Thor's race, the Asgard. Daniel believes that what they left behind might be the key to everything, real meaning of life stuff. But a storm is coming, the palace is about to fall into the sea, and the dial-home device is super broken. Ernest has been studying these lights for a lifetime and finally convinces Daniel to leave just in the nick of time. Teal'c goes home to Chulak to try and stop his young son rya'c from taking his first symbiote, making him dependent on the goa'uld for the rest of his life. The Jaffa aren't hosts, they're slaves used as soldiers and incubators for larval goa'uld. The symbiote heals disease and gives the Jaffa a long life, but once you have the pouch, you have to have a symbiote or you'll die. No immune system. rya'c does get his own junior, but at least Teal'c's family is safe. A fishman kidnaps Daniel and fakes his death to find out what happened to his mate on Earth thousands of years ago.
What fate, Amoroka?
A sarcophagus is found on Earth that has been holding Ra's evil queen, Hathor, the goddess of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, who uses her womanly wilds to temporarily take over Stargate Command, until the women kick her off the planet. Cassandra is a young girl whose people were wiped out by the System Lord Nirti's experiments. Nirti put a bomb in the girl's chest to blow up Earth and the Stargate, and Sam risks it all to make sure she won't die alone. Everything turns out okay, and Cassandra gets a dog. Teal'c is put on trial for his crimes committed when he was first primed to Apophis. SG-1 helps Tolan refugees resettle with the Nox, the only people Omok will agree to live with because they aren't backwater simpletons like us. And SG-1 gets turned into robots. Turns out they weren't put into robot bodies, they're duplicates, and not the real SG-1 at all. Solitudes is a big episode, not just for Sam and Jack shippers,
It's my sidearm, I swear.
but also because SG-1 discovers that there's a second Stargate on Earth. Sam and Jack are lost after returning home from another world, and all the searches for them turn up zero. Jack is hurt, Sam can't get the DHD to work, and eventually concludes that they are stranded on an ice planet with no hope of rescue. Turns out the gate wasn't working because she was dialing Earth, and they're already on Earth.
What happens when you dial your own phone number? Wrong person to ask. What happens when you dial your own phone number?
You get a busy signal.
Exactly.
The Beta Gate was lost in Antarctica, and now we have it tucked away for a rainy day. Season 1 wraps up with a multi-episode arc, culminating in Apophis' direct attack on the planet Earth. On another off-world mission, SG-1 finds the Quantum Mirror, which zaps Daniel to a parallel universe, where Jack is in charge of the SGC. Dr. Carter isn't in the military, Teal'c is still evil, and the entire planet is currently falling to an alien assault. There's no way to save this world, so Daniel asks for help getting back to his own. A mothership lands on the mountain, Jack is shot dead, and the base self-destructs. But Daniel escapes through the gate and uses the mirror to return home. He has an address where the attack originated from in the other reality, and a dire warning for his team.
We're all in very big trouble. They're coming. They're coming.
He's not wrong. Senator Kinsey isn't listening, though, and pulls the funding for the Stargate, shutting down the whole program on the eve of Earth's most dire hour. To try and save the planet, SG-1 has to defy orders, sneak through the gate to Daniel's address, and sabotage Apophis' attack ship. Not parked on a planet, it turns out, but actually on its way to Earth. The gate was on a ship, and now it's gone into hyperspace. They plant C4 all over the ship's key systems, but things get complicated when they spot the man in charge, the goa'uld Chlorel, son of Apophis, who took Skaara as its host. Jack tries to reach his friend, Skaara gets killed, for now, and as the ship arrives over Earth, we see that it's only one of 2 motherships. Even if they blow up this one, Apophis himself will still attack Earth. Fade to black. And what in the world happens in Season 2? Don't miss the next video in this series. You can find full episode guides with analysis, behind-the-scenes intel, and more on our website at gateworld.net.